Morning everyone, it's Adam from Tranquility Homes. We're back here at the Hap Cap Works here in Wigston. I'm here again with Rob from Wiston Property Investments, and today we're going to cover a few things with you. So we're going to give you a general update on where we are with this project and what the plan is going forward, and then we're going to talk some technicals. So we're going to talk about some of the planning issues we had with the roof, some of the planning issues we had with the windows, and then finally we're going to go down back into the basement and talk about some of the issues we have with drainage and stuff like that. So yeah, so tell us then, Rob, where are we up to? It's middle of September, and yeah, it's been going on slowly, hasn't it? But I think we're making some progress.
We've made considerable progress now. We've been we'd finished pulling the tender pack together quite some weeks ago actually.
Yeah.
And we've been out to tender with 6 builders, 6 contractors, and we've now whittled that down to 1, and we have a contractor to do the project for us.
Fantastic. And how soon are they going to start?
10th of October is contractual start date, so we'll be in.
3-4 weeks time we'll be rocking and rolling.
We'll be technically breaking ground.
Fantastic.
It's great news.
Yeah. So lots of progress since we did the last video, and yeah, we'll keep you updated further on that as we go forward. So Rob, the first thing I think we're going to cover today is the roof. So I think when we've spoke about in previous videos, it was a condition of planning that we had to put some scheme together for the roof and what we were going to do with it, wasn't it? So what have we come up with?
Well, originally we had a plan to put a flat roof on. So you can see at the moment it's a valley. The flat roof would have made it more maintenance free.
Yeah, because at the moment the water will kind of all come down here.
Yeah, at the moment the water runs down, and it runs down the 2 pipes you can see on the wall. And that runs inside the building, so there's noise issues. So for the planning, we had to solve the drainage, but from a maintenance issue, we also wanted to solve the flat roof.
Yeah.
But as things stand, we didn't get the planning permission for the flat roof. It's buildings in a conservation area. Conservation officer preferred to keep the building and the aesthetics of the building as original as possible. So we've had to give up on the flat roof. So now we have submitted a scheme to replace the drainage that you see. So we'll have to recreate the valley, seal it off. We'll have water running in 2 pipes, and we'll take that water out to the surface water. That is slightly different to what's in place at the moment, because in these old buildings, they used to run the rainwater into the sewers, and you can't do that anymore. So we have had to come up with a solution to run the rainwater into the surface water.
Yeah, cool. No, that's great. And that was one of the things that was covered in the actual planning application as a discharge of conditions, which means this is one of the things we had to come up with this scheme for, submit it to the council to make sure they were happy with it before we could even start the project. So the second issue that we're going to talk today about then is about the windows and the arches above the windows, right? Because the actual windows themselves, that was a condition we had to discharge on the planning application. So basically, to recap, because this is a locally listed building, we had to kind of keep the look and the feel of the building from the outside. So the council were very concerned about what kind of windows we were going to put in and what kind of design those windows were. Once we put those designs and windows together, we then found this other problem, didn't we, with the arches and the potential problems we were going to have with those.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've discharged the conditions by effectively offering a solution which the look and feel will be just as it is at the moment, with 24 panes of glass in some of the windows and 18 panes in others. But it will be a double glazed unit. They'll be all aluminium, so they'll have that from a maintenance point of view. We'll have that long term, maintenance free windows. But from the council's perspective, they get a lovely looking building that looks a bit like it did originally.
Yeah, excellent. And with double glazed panes as well, they'll make them much more energy efficient.
Exactly. So we also get an energy efficient building out of it. But working with the structural engineer in doing that, we've also uncovered that this is, with this being a really old building, all of the lintels have all fallen, and we need to have a solution to strengthen every single window lintel in this building before we put weight back in. So you can imagine kitchens and bathrooms and new flooring and pipes and walls all add weight to the building. So before we do any of that, we've got to strengthen every single window. And basically the structural engineer has been fantastic, come up with a solution called HeliFix, which effectively is steel bars. So what we will do is we will dig out all of the grouting, probably 3 course of bricks on each window,
Yeah.
and there'll be a steel bar that gets put in, probably about 2 or 3 meters long, above the lintels, then there's a resin that goes in, and then you re-grout or you re-point afterwards. And what that does is that takes all the weight above and spreads and pushes all that weight down to the fatter, sort of deeper parts of the wall around the outside of the window, rather than the weight coming through the window. For those technical people there, they'll understand what we're trying to do. So there's I think there's about 36 windows in the building. We've got to do all 36.
Yeah, so it's a big old task.
It is.
I think it's one of those for the audience at home to think about. If you're looking at these kind of old buildings, it's not the first thing that springs to mind when you come in, but it's something that is going to add significant cost to the actual build. So it's one of those things you need to think about. Look how big the windows are in these old buildings, and what kind of schemes you might need to do. It's not going to be a case of just taking them in and taking them out and putting a new one in. There's probably going to have to be that structural work and things involved as well.
Exactly. Correct.